Okay, back with another bourbon hunting video. I was out chasing the elusive Bernheim Barrel Proof again this weekend. I know at least one store in Minnesota has it, but it's overpriced, so I'm assuming that maybe a couple other ones might. And so I was in a few different towns this last weekend, so I figured I'd stop and check out their stores. So anyway, here's a couple of clips from some of the stores I stopped at. I didn't do any narration in the car in between because my poor wife was with me, and it was bad enough I was dragging her to all these liquor stores. She didn't probably have any interest in sitting there while I tried to record these little snippets in between. So I decided to wait until I got home and just do a little narration from home here. So first stop is Coburn's in Belle Plaine, Minnesota. Coburn's is usually a pretty good bet for just a good selection overall, fair prices. That Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof single barrel's been showing up a lot at a lot of stores lately. You've probably seen that in my other videos. I had Larceny A123 and the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel at MSRP. That's awesome. Some Knob Creeks. And then the McKenna at 65, which 60 to 65 is kind of the going rate around here. So let me know in the comments what you think about those prices. Henry McKenna at $65. Is it way overpriced, or, you know, kind of barring what it used to be? I get that the price has gone up a lot, but usually 60 to 65 is what we get it for around here. It is a 10-year single barrel bottled in bond. I think a lot of companies could probably get away with $65 for a bourbon with that kind of stats on it, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to get over the fact that it used to be, you know, 40 and even cheaper way back in the day. So anyway, next stop is MGM Wine and Spirits in North Mankato. So kind of standard stuff again, but a really good selection. MGM usually has fair prices. We've got the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof showing up again. Like I said before, that one's pretty common around here now, which is awesome because it's great. But they usually have fair prices, but then once in a while I see a post from an MGM where they'll have something that's kind of allocated and it's a little ridiculous. So I think it's kind of hit or miss. But for the most part, kind of standard stuff, but again, decent selection, fair prices. Get a few Old Elks there. I saw a Jim Beam Single Barrel on the shelf there. We don't have those at all liquor stores around here, so it's nice when you see those. And also the Kentucky Spirit. I saw that for like $70 the other day at a liquor store that's normally cheap, so that was a great price on that one for the 60 or whatever it said. And here's a picture of the behind the counter stuff. So they get a McKenna for $65. Elijah Craig Toasted for around $60. Old Elk was $140 for the Infinity Blend. So all about retail. The Joseph Magnuses were a little expensive, about $120 for one of them, and I'm assuming maybe around $100 for the other one, which would probably be about retail. So yeah, they had some good stuff, fair prices again. So some decent stuff with that one again, you know, fair prices again. Henry McKenna, $65 again, so I mean there is that. But anyway, so on to the next stop in Mankato. This is a place called Cork N Key. This is more of a privately owned liquor store. It's not a chain like Coburn's or MGM, so let's check it out. Cork N Key is a really nice liquor store. They've got a great selection here. You can kind of see a lot of stuff. They got the Henry McKenna at 63, so we're making some steps in the right direction. Blue Run, that's new to Minnesota. I haven't had that one yet. But yeah, just a lot of stuff at average prices. Rare Breed is back. That was kind of gone from Minnesota for a little while, so that's nice to see. Yeah, just a big variety. It's a bourbon-forward liquor store. And they've got some kind of higher-end stuff, too. The family owns a couple restaurants in the area that are very bourbon-forward as well, so you can kind of tell they know what they're doing in the bourbon world there. Nice selection. They got all these Calumets here, and then they've got a nice selection of Old Elks. You got the Infinity Blend there. It's $10 more, actually, at this place than it was at the other one, but still within the fair realm. Almost picked up that Bellmead Reserve because I know it's discontinued, and I haven't had it yet, but I did not pull the trigger on it. I did, however, pick up, bam, Ezra Brooks Cast Strength. So this is a Lux Row. Greg and I just reviewed, this is a single barrel, this is their store pick, 120 proof. We just reviewed the Total Wine Rebel Cast Strength, the single barrel store pick, and this is also from Lux Row as well as that. So I was pretty excited to see this one because I've heard good things about the Ezra Brooks Cast Strength, but I haven't really seen it on the shelf. So I figured since this is the first time I've seen it, and we like the other one from Rebel so much, had to pick it up. So that's the only bottle I actually bought today, but I do have 2 more stores that I want to show on here. Stopped into a couple of stores on the way back home, and I didn't pick up any bottles, but they're great stores that I want to recommend. So first one is Lakeville Liquors in Lakeville, Minnesota. Another nice selection. A lot of the standard stuff, but they also had a couple things that I haven't seen at most other stores here. The Booker's hiding out on the shelf. I think there's a couple of them there. I'll get a better close-up of that in a second here. And then they have these Lucky Sevens, which are actually new to Minnesota, and I don't see those at a lot of stores, so I'm definitely interested in trying those out at some point here. They're a little expensive, but I'm sure we'll get around to getting into those at some point here. And then they had a nice lineup of Wild Turkey stuff is what is now considered retail for those. So here's the Booker's, $92, which unfortunately is now pretty normal. And I think actually that's probably pretty cheap compared to some other places. This was 2023-01 Charlie's batch. Then they had some sales on Old Forester stuff, which for me is awesome because I love Old Forester. And then a Heaven's Door cask strength store pick for $60. I've only had one of those. I've got one on my shelf, and it's actually really good. So I'm looking forward to actually trying those a little bit more as well. Okay, last stop of the day, Blue Max Liquors in Burnsville, Minnesota. Another privately owned store, so not a big chain or anything like that, but got a great selection. Ran into a nice couple from Albert Lee, Minnesota that were also doing some bourbon hunting, so cheers to you. You know who you are if you're watching this. So yeah, just wanted to recommend this store as well because it's a good one. All right, they had a bunch of stuff here. Again, a great selection. Love the fact that I've seen a rare breed on the shelf at pretty much every store I've gone to now. Because like I said before, that was gone for a while. $59.99 for rare breed rye is great. They had some mellow corn on the bottom there. Great selection of Old Elk. No Infinity Blend, but they had the 4 grain and some other cool stuff. Some Peerless action, Double Oak Rye. And this place also had a couple of those Lucky 7 expressions. I'm not sure which ones they were. I don't know if you can see it here in the video. But again, new to Minnesota, not available everywhere. And they had some stuff up on the shelf there too. So good store. All right, so that's it for last weekend's bourbon hunting. I got to imagine it's going to happen again in the future here. So if you like the bourbon hunting videos, stay tuned. Or if you like videos about reviews and stuff like that, also stay tuned and subscribe.